Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Master Duel. He's here, he's queer. Well, I'm pretty sure he isn't. He's probably straight as hell, given his theming, but the Fiendsmith cards are finally here on Master Duel. Well, the first wave of support anyway. I mean, what else can I say? They just had to do it, you know? John Konami just had to do it. They limited Engraver to 2, although again, and you guys in the comments will have to correct me on this. I remember this guy being called Agnus Dei in Japanese. Again, you can correct me on that if I may be wrong. I may be misremembering it, but it does align with basically all of the other Fiendsmith cards having, well, almost all the Fiendsmith cards having Latin names. So it would make sense that Engraver would be named Agnus. It's just appropriate for the guy. But we're here finally with Fiendsmith Yubel. We finally have the Fiendsmith support. But we still don't have the second wave yet, which is just 2 cards, which is the basically Lacrima as a main deck monster, before this thing got banned. And there's also a new Link 2, if I remember correctly, but we'll get there when we get there. For this video, I will actually be explaining why my ratios are the way they are, because there is still a bit of time left, at least at the time I'm recording this video. It's been about a week removed from the release of the Fiendsmith cards, and people are still tinkering with the lists here and there. Still trying to find out what ratios we should put Agnus Dei in the deck. And yes, I will keep calling him Agnus Dei because it just seems appropriate for him to have a Latin name, okay? My ratios are the way they are because I think it's much more appropriate. Starting off with the main man himself, what else can I do? He's only really here to basically raise the ceiling of a lot of other decks. Fiend Link is a deck that has been kicking around every once in a while, most especially thanks to Evil Twins / Live Twin, and they also got a recent wave of support. I believe it's just 1 card, but it has supercharged the Live Twin deck so much that it is rogue playable now, but it's not going to be in Master Duel for another 6 months, so we'll get there when we get there, but I will be playing Live Twin next week, so there is that. But for Engraver, what more can I add to this guy? His reputation precedes him. A couple of cards from the Engraver cards. I was gonna say pieces, but it's the same thing anyway. They already got hit on the ban list one way or another. I believe Tract is limited to 1 somewhere in the paper game. Then of course Lacrima is banned, and then I'm not sure what else got hit, but I believe a lot of the other cards got hit as well, and other cards around it, they got axed, most especially this one, and we'll get to that when we get there. But to talk about Yubel, Fiendsmith in particular, the combo lines are surprisingly the same. The only difference being that the Fiendsmith cards just raise the ceiling of the Yubel deck. It adds a basically Ash Blossom Bait. That's what the Fiendsmith cards do. It's Ash Blossom Bait, and then should you not brick with this deck can brick, surprisingly, in spite of the amount of power behind the cards. Although I have ended up with a hand or 2 that is Ash Blossom, Called By, Cross Out, Imperm, and Maxi, so it can happen, but the chances of that is extremely unlikely. But it can happen. Just be wary of that one. It creates combo lines that aren't exactly obvious at first blush, because Trapped here, it's a searcher and it's also the fusion spell, surprising. And by the way, I have to give shout out to the art, or whoever are the artists for the Fiendsmith cards, because it's literally Devil May Cry. It's you cannot deny it. It's Devil May Cry mixed with another older demon-based franchise called Gungrave, if you're old enough to know what that is. They basically fused those two. It seems, at least to me, they fused those 2 IPs together and they formed Agnus Dei here. It works. It freaking works. But to explain my ratios, I mean, to Engraver, it's absolutely necessary because the deck is just dead without at least 2 copies of Engraver. The one thing that I find fascinating is the amount of Fiendsmiths trapped that are in decks. Some have only 1, others have 2, and I don't know why you would not want to max out on this one. This is the perfect, and I mean perfect, Ash Blossom Bait. And if they ash this and then you have your Yubel starters in hand, then good job. He did what he had to do. So having 3 Fiendsmiths tracked is, for me, necessary. And this deck was also iterated on by I think there are 2 Yubel players at the shop I work at, and there's also not Yubel player. He is a Fiendsmith player who mixes it with, and I kid you not, Rescue Ace. And lo and behold, that deck actually exists here on Master Duel. I actually have it saved. I don't have the replay saved because I faced off against that guy 3 days ago, sadly. But I do have his deck list here. And it's 43 cards, and it's literally just the Rescue Ace deck with the Fiendsmith cards thrown in. And it's insane that it works. But otherwise, everything else here is what you would expect out of a Fiendsmith deck. Of course, Triple Tactics Talent as the one-off, because this deck in particular is just a 39 card deck, and Triple Tac is just the 40th slot that I had to fill in. And between this and the Nibiru, I think I'd rather go for gas rather than a way to stop my opponent. And the players at the shop share the same sentiment, so there is that. And then to go over the extra deck, it has never been tighter. No thanks to the Fiendsmith cards, the extra deck is, well, there is literally no room for anything else anymore. Although there is one flex slot in particular, and that's this guy right here, Triple D, Wave High King Caesar. Some builds don't have this. Some builds have, in this slot, Chaos Angel. Some other builds have Appaloosa. Some other builds even still have Typhon. But the Typhon in particular has fallen like way off to the wayside recently, because not exactly a lot of monsters, especially at the top end of the ranked ladder, cap out at 3k, which is surprising because a lot of them are below that, usually around the 2,800 mark, 2,800 to 2,900. There are only a small handful of meta monsters that are breaching the 3k attack value. So having this guy here to stop those special summons from happening can be a necessity. And when I was testing out the Live Twin deck, a lot of them said that this guy is absolutely necessary for that deck in particular, because this guy stops Nibiru. and that deck lives and dies by Nibiru, so this guy is necessary. And of course, if you've played in the paper game, I mean, you're going to be very, very familiar with what this guy does. It's just Solemn Strike on legs, and it also hits for like a decent chunk of damage as well, so keep him in mind. And of course, this is the deck that got Beatrice the Axe. This is the deck that finally joins Dante down in, well, not exactly Inferno. I mean, if you know what happened in the Divine Comedy, you would know that they both ended up in Paradiso, because of course that's exactly what Dante Alighieri would have wanted, because the entire piece, you know, when you go through world literature, and this is just me rambling, but I'm just remembering what I had to go through with literature classes, because I love those classes, by the way, way back when I was in college. The entire thing was just a satire / parody of Dante Alighieri's very, let's say, colorful political life, and that was just him getting back at the very people that basically brought him down. So, going back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Beatrice, this is the deck that gets Beatrice banned. No two ways about it. I will not be surprised if I will get the 30 UR dust that I used to craft Beatrice back, probably sometime within the next 6 months before the next wave of Fiendsmith support comes out. And then the rest of this deck is pretty much tailor-made to accommodate the Fiendsmith cards. Gone is the Loving Defender Forever, and you literally just have Phantom Yubel left. You just can't not add anything else in this deck. Everything is tailor-made to just support whatever shenanigans is happening in the main deck now. Lacrima, this card also gets banned alongside Beatrice. To be honest, I'm not too sure. In the paper game, there are completely different reasons than there are here in Master Duel, and you can't exactly put a limit on Lacrima. Oh, hell, even any of the Fiendsmith extra deck monsters in general, you cannot put limitations on them, because more often than not, players will just be running the one copy and be happy with it, because a lot of these guys are extremely and surprisingly recyclable. A lot of their effects shuffle the Light Fiends back into the deck, and that's the biggest reason why there's only really one of each among all of the Fiendsmith cards, because, like I said, they all just recycle themselves somehow. And this is the guy that caused the most amount of problems because it leads to too many degenerate stuff. Some, if I remember correctly, there were also FTKs somehow that involve Fiendsmith, because it gets into Beatrice, and then Beatrice gives you access to a lot of other bullshit because she is a foolish burial on legs. But everybody already knows that. And yeah, Lacrima just enabled way too much, at least in the paper game, so I do not know how impactful that will be here in Master Duel, but we will definitely find out. Surprisingly, in spite of everything that Fiendsmith has been doing on the rank ladder ever since introduction a week ago, it caused a lot of other decks that were just hiding when Tenpai was the ruling power in the rank ladder, and Snake Eyes finally rears its ugly head back in, and it's doing just as well, but also highly enabled by Agnus Dei and crew. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. But otherwise, yeah, everything in here, it's just to accommodate the entire Fiendsmith package. Similar to the jokes about how any two monsters goes into Verti Anaconda, and then Verti Anaconda makes Dark Dragoon. Moon of Closed Heaven is basically the same thing. I didn't actually believe in it at first, and then I realized, wait, she's a light fiend, and guess what? Requiem only needs a light fiend in order to summon itself. This is what they meant in the memes, that Moon of the Closed Heaven is just a full Fiendsmith combo. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, I never realized the power that this little coffin has until I actually got to play with the thing. And do note that I will be making mistakes, especially when it comes to sequence right here, because this is usually the point where I start getting choice paralysis, because I would be weighing my options given what's in my graveyard, what's in my opponent's hand, and what they have been and not been doing. But I think it would be better to explain all of that once we're in the games. But otherwise, I basically cut all of the other stuff, well, quote-unquote cute stuff that I used to have when this deck was a lot more pure. But now that we have Fiendsmith in, the ceiling of this deck is just insane now. I have been taking it into the rank ladder, and I win 1 out of every 3 games, and that is an insane win rate for this deck. Jesus fucking Christ. But otherwise, unless I face off against fucking Snake Eyes, I mean, that is to be expected. But without further ado, with this scuffed per usual deck tech, let's hop into these duels. In case you guys don't already know, Yubel Fiendsmith is a very hard go first deck. While it can do a thing or two going second, you're better off going first. And D-Shifter is the death nail, the one of fun of sack fest that it is. Holy fucking shit. So we won't be able to do too much here, simply because we just can't. We just can't. We simply just cannot. As much as I want to do a lot here, we're just going to do that. Then we're just going to get some out of these nuts, and unfortunately we have to sacrifice one of them to get Spirit of Yubel, put it in here, then use that to search Nightmare Pain. I still can't believe we're gonna get sacked in this freaking game. Holy shit. But we're gonna set that here, and unfortunately that is all what we're gonna do. Simply because our graveyard is shut out. This deck just cannot function without a graveyard. Although we can have Phantom of Yubel out, but we're gonna have to end up sacrificing one of the Phantoms of Yubel. So, and this also surprisingly plays around Nibiru, because we'll only be special summoning twice just in case they do have Nibiru. So we're gonna set here to the rightmost side, and that's it. There's a pretty weak board. My opponent drew their one of fun of Dimension Shifter. I already decrafted this when it got limited to 1 because it just is not worth it as a Sake one of. But let's see what my opponent is up to. Oh, right. So that's the thing. Alongside Fiendsmith also came the Millennium cards, and YuGiOh, well, not really YuGiOh, Atem is finally getting the respect he deserves by basically letting every player who crafted this deck say Exodia Obliterate, and they're gonna do it properly, goddammit. They're gonna do it properly, and they will get the satisfaction that they want out of it. But I do not know if they can even, I mean, they can, but yeah, I mean, it's Exodia. I mean, at least it's something. We know with Tenpai being severely weakened with the limiting of Chandra, and granted, Tenpai is still a really scary deck to face against in spite of all of the limitations done to it. But I guess the only reason everyone is playing this deck at the moment is because it's new. Everyone wants to play the new deck, they want to try the new cards, and the deck is surprisingly cheap. A lot of the power cards, especially Sengenjin here, and of course the extra deck Exodia, they're all the only ultra rares, and everything else is just a super rare, I believe, and below. So that makes this deck extremely cheap to craft compared to the travesty that is oops all ultra rares 10 pi. So there's that, and yeah, Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, one of the only handful of ultra rares that this deck has, I believe. But yeah, we're definitely dead here. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would normally concede before the attack gets in because I am a petty player like that. But it's Exodia. I gotta give my due respect to one of the OGs, so there is that. Let's just move on to the next duel. My opponent made me go second, so that is already a really scary prospect, and they are carrying an extra thick deck, and they're rocking... Oh my god, they're rocking the Sky Striker sleeves. Oh boy, and it's 60 card combo soup. So this is gonna take a while, but opponent is being the cultured man that he is, or woman. I don't know, I don't judge. But they're rocking the Sky Striker sleeve, and they could have gone the full regalia, you know, just rock the entire Sky Striker. And I have faced off against one player that rocked the Sky Striker kit, and they had to do a scoop of shame because they DD crowed my Ash Blossom for their Max C, but they realized that it didn't negate the thing, so they scooped out of shame. So I mean, unfortunate for them. And I was also testing Fiendsmith at the time, so fascinating that my opponent is doing it the way they are. I guess this is just in case I had an Ash Blossom and then they were gonna rip something out of my extra deck. But okay then, I'm just gonna set this off and we're gonna skip to my opponent's, well, not my opponent's end board, but at the beginning of my turn. Because this combo is gonna take a while because they're a 60-card combo soup deck, so who knows how long this is gonna take, so I'll see you guys there. Okay, we're here at the start of my turn, and opponent ended with Wave Hiking Caesar, they ended with Desiree. But they don't have much, surprisingly, although they do have two unknowns, and this is all they have, so this could get tricky, but it may not. I think the first thing we're gonna do is... Although, they could rip something out of my extra deck, like, nearly immediately. And that's going to be not Gucci in the slightest. So, I think, as much as I want to get Phantom of Yubel out here, in order to negate at least one of these things, we need to bait it out with Dark Beckoning Beast first, more than anything else. Because I mean, Wave Hiking Caesar will only really trigger if I try to special summon, and okay, good. We're fiending out a lot of the at least the hand traps that my opponent potentially has in their hand. Then they're going to use Unicorn here to rip something out of my extra deck, which is to be expected. I'm assuming it's going to be either Desiree, Lacrima, or any of the other Fiendsmith parts that I have in the deck, which is to be expected, because everything else is just Yubel starters, or rather Yubel extenders and or finishers. So there's that. Or they could also get rid of Sequence. That will completely remove my ability to do anything here. So the Surge was negated, but the double normal summon wasn't. So that is a surprising victory in my book. So we're going to use Opening of the Spirit Gates here. Let's see what happens. Will they negate it with Desiree? I'm assuming they won't. Oh god, that fiended it out? Really, opponent? Okay then. You're gonna negate two things, so you're not going to give me a normal summon, or rather an extra normal summon, but you're gonna negate that. Sure. But now I can't use this to revive. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Unfortunately, I still have somewhat full combo. Although I don't have easy access to Agnus Dei, so there is that. So we will literally just have to rely on the entirety of our Yubel cards here. So, we could keep negating Wave Hiking Caesar here. Or rather, we could feed out the negation by Wave Hiking Caesar. Because we already have everything that we sort of need. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god. Oh, this is going to be so epic. They are not going to believe what I have in hand. Oh my god. So we do this. Oh my god. Prove to my opponent that we still got it. Somehow. And although we already normal summoned, so that is something. We're going to add the Grave Squirmer. There we go. And then Droll? My opponent does have they have Droll? Ah, okay, yeah. I think that was definitely a punt. I probably should have summoned the Phantom of Yubel first, and now we're dead. Holy shit. Oh, I forgot. I keep forgetting that Kashtira Birth does that. Okay, that was definitely on me. So we're definitely dead here because they have lethal on board and they'll just attack me next turn. So again, that was definitely a mistake on my part. I'm definitely going to own up to that. I should have summoned Phantom of Yubel first before I did the search. So, yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next duel. Okay, let's see what my Life Twin rockin' opponent... Oh, that's a slightly thick deck, but we ended up with a banger of a hand. It's not well, let's see what happens. First, we're gonna use Fiendsmith's Tract here as a way to bait out whatever it is my opponent could potentially have here. A Max C is definitely something. And you're gonna see on average that the entire Fiendsmith combo line is a time sink in Master Duel. In the week that I have been practicing with this deck. Okay, I'm back. So as I was saying, in the week that I have been practicing with this deck, I would usually eat about 200 and more than 200 seconds actually from the timer. And yeah, the combo lines with this deck eat up a lot of clock. And my opponent would usually draw through half their deck and hope that they get interaction, or if it's a deck that is reliant on stuff being in their deck, I don't know what I just said there. I think I just said the word "in" like twice in a row. Forgetting how to construct sentences here. But we are turn 1, so that is something. So we do this. He doesn't get us a search, sadly, but we can do this. What can we do here? We can use POI. If we could, but we do need another body on board, and it's not going to be some sort of these nuts because we will be sacrificing it very, very shortly. Let's see. We just do this. I mean, again, I am never really afraid of the Maxi challenge. You know, in case you guys have seen my videos back when I was rocking dinosaurs, I am never afraid of the Maxi challenge. I just take it, and if I lose, I lose, which is usually most of the time. But there are cases where I've won against the Maxi challenge. But this might be one of those times where I don't, simply because the quality of cards have significantly gone up since my dinosaur playing days. So we could end up losing, we could end up winning, who knows. We're just going to keep playing until we get to that point. But my opponent hasn't exactly drawn too many cards that is concerning to me just yet. But here's a sweet thing we can do. Because OG Yubel is in our hand, we can just destroy that instead of the one we have on field. So we get Grave Squirmer, and let's see what my opponent does about that. Yubel, do your thing. Do you have something in hand for this? You can't use Called by the Grave. Only Ghost Bell will do the thing here. I think it is Ghost Bell, but I don't remember. So we now have the requisite material right in the graveyard. We can just skip Close Moon, then we're just going to sequence. I think that is what I'm gonna do here. Okay, so we're going to sequence. This could be wrong because I still have Phantom Yubel set up. Yeah, Tether Incarnate, you can miss your timing all you want. Now, I think is a good time as any to get POI out. Some people have called Phantom Yubel just POI or POI. Because it's just a lot easier than Phantom of Yubel, but I prefer to still call it the Phantom of Yubel because, you know, it's the Phantom, of course. I am an English student. Specifically, was studying to become an English teacher, but I just woke up one day and I said to myself, "Well, I'm not gonna be a teacher after all." So there is that. But a lot of the lessons stuck with me. So there is that. I have a very very deep appreciation for the for world literature. We'll definitely shuffle all of these back in because Desiree needs three things to do its thing, and I believe this is enough. If they Nibiru here, I have protection against it. Desiree, you can no longer be targeted. Here you go. We're gonna put it here on the other side, and I believe this is a satisfactory board. All things considered, this is two negates, well, three negates, and then we have both Grave Squirmer and Sharvara to protect our boys and girls here from removal, in case they do indeed have it. So yeah, this is a decent board, surprisingly. I wasn't able to show off like the full, YouTube combo replay potential that this deck has, but we were under maxi, and I want to at least be a little respectable. And of course, I lost twice in a row, so we gotta, make up for it somehow. Negating Millennium Dynasty here is seemingly the correct choice because that's what happened last time. So we're gonna do it again. Phantom Yubel, do your thing. Negate. I'm assuming. Oh, he doesn't have the Called by the Grave. He already drew like 10 cards into his deck. Yeah, about 10 cards in. We're gonna destroy the OG Yubel so that we get the Terror Incarnate out. So we still have fuel in case Spirit of Yubel is the one that gets destroyed. Because this is Exodia after all. So they could have something here, and yeah, that's definitely it. But we're not exactly going to be doing too much summoning otherwise, because we'll be using Desiree to negate two things. So let's see. Okay, there we go. And of note, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate only stops spells and traps. So no back row from me here. Sengenjin, this guy only negates stuff that is on the field. That's the weakness of Desiree. Ooh, okay. Do we negate that? Place it while it continues spell, pay 200. I believe negating this is worthless because I made them draw like 10 cards. So we're actually going to save our negate until much later. So let's see. I mean, because I made them draw 10 cards, so they could potentially have everything that they have in their hand at this point. So we're going to see what else they do, and it's called YuGiOh Temple. YuGiOh, Exodia. Oh my god, me and my uncle jokes. Triple Tactics talent is interesting. I'm assuming he's going to use that to, going to use that to bait the Negacion. So, I mean, might as well do it. I don't see any other reason not to. So we're going to get triple tack, and this is where it gets dicey. We either negate YuGiOh Temple, because I believe you can place it in your spell and instead of sending it to the graveyard. It's only protection. That's all it does. So I guess negating Sengenjin is the other correct choice? Question mark. I haven't faced off against Exodia enough to know the ins and outs, because what I would usually face off against, at least during the initial days that this deck came out, which is about in a 48 to 72 hour window, all I faced off against was Snake Eyes. I did not face off against Exodia until like about now. So there is that. I believe there is already like a sort of stock list for Fiendsmith Snake Eyes, and that thing is gonna get axed like sooner or later. Or it will at least get Lacrima axed somewhere, because you cannot put a limit on any of the Fiendsmith cards, because well, putting it in Engraver to 1 definitely kills the card, because you won't have too much consistency left with just one engraver, because you really need at least 2 engravers. So there is that. But limiting everything else to 1 doesn't really do anything. So it's either unlimited at 3 or banned. There is just you cannot do anything in between. So there's that. I have no idea what my opponent is doing, but I'm assuming we're dead somewhere here, because if there's anything that Exodia does, it's also clearing out whatever board that you could have put up. But they can't exactly target Desiree here, and unless they remove Nightmare Pain, which I'm assuming they have a way to do so. Exodia has that. There we go. SP Litonite is definitely a way to deal with Nightmare Pain. They just banish that and then they summon Exodia Incarnate. So, unless they're not gonna do it. Question mark. Hello, opponent. That is literally the only way for you to win here. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't actually remember what the Exodia Obliterate continuous trap does. I don't know if it makes them unaffected by card effects. I'm going to have to take a read at it, but I'm just going to assume I'm dead here because Exodia Incarnate doesn't have protection all by itself. It has to use the back row that it has, which is, I believe there's two of them that the decks use, and they're just gonna set cards and pass. That is really, really weird coming from my Exodia opponent. I guess they also know that because they can't exactly attack with a high attack Exodia, because of course that'll kill them. But it's mandatory for them to attack because of Nightmare Pain. So they don't have a way to answer Nightmare Pain. They did actually, but they just chose not to use it. I don't know why, but I guess they forgot, question mark. So this is going to be one of those strange duels. Opponent, you have to attack. Nightmare Pain says you must. We're both at 0, so it's not going to be okay. My opponent was gonna commit Sudoku no matter what. Because they didn't have they had a way to get rid of Nightmare Pain. What the hell? What were you thinking? Okay then, I guess that's a win. Oh my god. So my punt was rewarded with a punt from my opponent. Well, potential punt. I mean, who knows what was in their hand. I made them draw like 10, 12 cards, so next duel, I guess. Won the die roll at least, and I'm finally back into the swing of saying won the die roll or lost the die roll. Usually when I begin my Yu-Gi-Oh videos. That's something you tend to notice over time as you're creating content. You tend to have mannerisms and or certain things that you do stick to you. But we're gonna bait that Ash, and let's see if it does anything here. No, it does not. So we're gonna do our thing, and we don't have access to the Fiendsmith line, but we could potentially, because we are a Fiend Link deck that can do whatever they want. So we can actually just leave the Spirit of Yubel on the field. We'll just destroy the one in hand. So there is that, and I'm gonna get this combo line on video because why not? So we do that, and then we're gonna summon OG Yubel. There we go. Then we do this. We'll get a Grave Skarma down. Then we will destroy the OG Yubel. Then we will get the Terror Incarnate into rotation. There we go. And then we will go the Fiendsmith combo line. Yay! So this is the part that you've probably seen in your games with Master Duel in the past week. Moon of the Closed Heaven, then Link It Off for Requiem, then Tribute Requiem to summon the guy. Oh my god, you guys have probably seen this combo one too many times already by this point, and that smug face of him and those fucking chiseled abs. Good god. Then I guess we're just going to sequence. Because Agnus Dei doesn't exactly do anything on his own, but he does enable a lot of stuff around him to work, so there is that. This is the time to get the Phantom out. We're going to shuffle back in the two bigger Yubels. This is the combo. We're doing the thing. We are doing the thing. After 84,000 years. I believe we shouldn't exactly do too much else, surprisingly. We'll just get the negate in and be happy with it. We have a Called by the Grave, so there is that. And then let's make him not be targeted by card effects. So, yeah. I guess that's it. This is it. This is the line. What else do you want me to do? There is literally, I mean, I could have, you know what? Yeah, that would actually be good. I'll summon out the samsara these nuts, just as an additional piece of insurance. Yeah. That is, I mean, there are lines that involve Muckracker of the from the underworld, but she's only really there as a plan B. And I have used her every once in a while in my combo lines because of her revival effect. And there are use case scenarios where if you would destroy, where the first sentence that she has here, ignoring the fact that she can't be used as link material, her first sentence could matter. But otherwise, oh, opponent is playing hero. I will not negate that because the negates usually come from the monsters. So there's that, and also stuff that ends up in the graveyard. So, ooh, opponent's rocking the Flame Wingman, and this guy got a glow up thanks to the summon cut in that they added in for this guy. They're gonna fusion Shokan immediately. Really? Okay. I'm just gonna negate whatever it is you summon out, potentially, unless I can't target it, which is also a possibility. But it's hero, so we're gonna see what my opponent is doing here. Or they could just be rocking the hero structure deck that they finally doled out. You know, it's a godsend for people like me who've been wanting to play hero, but because the deck is so damn expensive that I just can't bring myself to use the UR dust to just craft the deck. But, you know, thank Konami, you know, thank John Konami for finally putting it in a structure deck and just making it a lot easier for the rest of us here. Because good God, I just cannot justify crafting hero in this game because it's so goddamn expensive. You cannot believe it. I guess we negate that, and then they're gonna try to destroy stuff, and we negate that too. Yeah. I mean, this is the choke point if there ever was one. So do your thing, opponent. Just do your thing. Yeah, I mean, I think they expected that because it's literally face up on the field, but what they don't know is the Called by the Grave. So let's see. Oh, right. It destroys the Yubel on the field. Right. I keep forgetting that line of text that the samsara these nuts have. But I guess that's fine. Whose effect is activating again? Malicious. Sure. That is fine. Yeah, that was also another punt in my book. I keep forgetting that samsara these nuts destroys on the field, not in the deck. The one that destroys in the deck is the other big Yubels. And do they literally have a Fiendsmith line in this build? Like, Jesus Christ, man. I see 2 level 6s. So you can have Beatrice. Opponent, how dare you? How dare you betray your brethren here? Hero decks are usually pure. How dare you mix Beatrice in this? Oh my god. Okay, there you go. Devicer. Okay, sure. I'm still not gonna do it. You're not gonna bait me. Not when Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is face up on the field. No. You're not gonna make me, opponent. You are so not gonna make. Wait, unless there's a. Oh, there it is. And also, I forgot that Fusion Destiny also locks them out of other summons. Good God. And okay, yeah, they're just locked into Dark Heroes. I mean, they were already locked with Fusion Destiny to begin with. So, let's see how far they go. Infernal Devicer is not a card that you use too often, but it does, you know, go for lines like this. But they can freely attack now, so there's that. Faris, sure. You can summon yourself all you want, just additional body on board. I'm still not gonna negate that. Oh my god, opponent. Sure, you do your thing. You can only really summon Dark Heroes at this point. Again, I'm literally just going to negate the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, because that's literally all I can do. I don't want to be the one to do this, opponent. Come on. Okay, yep, Faris has done his job. That is fine. Then increase summons itself and then searches once it summons itself. Do or die, I guess. He's still gonna get negated because DPE doesn't negate. So I guess now is a good time as any. While they do their thing here. Although, if I negate him here... Oh! Oh, he's letting it through. Okay, then. He's letting this through. What? Is he gonna link it all away? Question mark? Now that we're no longer under the, Oh, wait! He could... No! He could do it, because DP doesn't target. This only protects against, targeting. Yeah. Well, monster targeting, so there is that. Sir, you're negated. Sir? I don't know why you didn't try to destroy Desiree there, but okay. I think my opponent is misreading the fact that DPE bypasses the protection that sequence gives. So okay then. We may have squeezed one out of this. Maybe not. We do need a monster on board. That punt of mine is not going to let me live it down, but we do have another Phantom Yubel in the deck. We have an yeah, we do have another Phantom. We can still do this somehow. Sure, go on, attack. Lose a couple of life points. I will see what happens. Oh my god. And also, that's the thing with Lacrima. At least in all of the games that I've played, I don't see this guy being absolutely necessary, surprisingly, all the time. Although, I do see the point of having it in the deck, because it's a way to just raise the ceiling of your deck. It's as simple as that, more than anything else. So, there is that. Opening of the Spirit Gates is definitely something. Then once we do indeed do the other stuff here, okay, look, we're gonna bait it out. We're gonna bait it out hard. We're gonna use Spirit Gates here. Yep, they're gonna use Favorite Contact because they're no longer under the Dark Hero lock. We're gonna force it out by attempting to negate it. Then they're gonna use DPE here to, yeah, destroy either Desiree or any of my continuous stuff. Then, once they're in the graveyard, we're going to eliminate DPE entirely with Called by the Grave if he doesn't already do so. And, yep, there it is. So, oh, it doesn't go off because Desiree is not on the field. That is fascinating. Okay, sure. So they're going to use, I believe, Flare. Oh, there we go. Shining Wingman. There we go. That's his name. I can never remember that guy's name, by the way. Oh my god. But my opponent is at a dangerously low life total. So there's that. Desiree activates. I forgot that this guy does that. So return this to the deck. Target a card on the field. Send it to the graveyard. Oh, don't mind if I do. Unless he's unaffected? Question mark. Yeah, he destroys stuff on the field. So yeah, sure. Go on ahead. Absorbs the card by... No, he is not unaffected. Wait, no. Let me read Favorite Contact. Ignore summoning conditions. Blah, blah, blah. Neither player can return monsters special summoned by this effect to the extra deck. No, it doesn't grant him protection whatsoever. Oh my god. Oh, he's just gonna be sent to the graveyard and this just bye-bye. Oh no, I should have activated that. But, oh well. I don't think my opponent has another turn. Question mark. So we do this. Oh wait, no. Hold on. We do this first. Because we have another Spirit Gates in the deck. There we go. Almost forgot about that one. Then we use another Nightmare Pain. There we go. Okay, don't forget about those. Then we do this. We will destroy the Dark Beckoning Beast. Then after that, we will get the Grave Squirmer. And now for the combo line. We will get Phantom of Yubel, the last one we have in our deck. We will shuffle in the two that are in here. There we go. Then we put it, I don't know, here in the left, just in case there's an infinite permanent somewhere. Then we do this. We're going to discard the Escape of the Unchained because that is no longer going to do anything for us. There we go. Then we're going to revive something out of the graveyard. And then we're going to do this. There we go. And then we'll do this just to get the just to get one of the Yubels out. There we go. And boom. Then we do this. There we go. We'll select one card, add it to the field. No. We do that. Then we've already done that. We control level 10. Sure, we'll add one to hand. We'll add that one. That was definitely a punt, by the way. I should have activated Call by the Grave when I had the chance there. But we're just gonna work with what has been given to us here. Although, what would be funny is we get Linkoribo here. Then we'll put him here. So we're going to make up for the loss that we have. Question mark. And we do this, and we do this. We're not going to win this turn, sadly. That's the biggest problem that Yubel Fiendsmith has. It doesn't exactly OTK very well. So we're going to banish DPE so that it doesn't come back. Oh my god. So that, then, yeah, we can revive one of them. Yeah. Okay, this duel could have been over like a lot quicker, but I didn't go for the Fiendsmith line because we need more stability than we do need the damage. So there is that. So we'll swing in for only 2200. It's not a lot, but it will at least make my opponent a little bit nervous. They're gonna have an empty board at that too. And then we'll just it'll just be a hop, skip, and a jump to the finishing lines that we can do with this deck. And the thing about this deck, again, I just said that it doesn't exactly OTK, but Varudras is the win con that this deck has been looking for. Wait, does he also summon himself out of the banish pile? I'm pretty sure it's only from the graveyard. Okay, there we go. He only summons from the graveyard, but he does, or rather, everything else happens with the stuff that he summons out of the graveyard. So we're gonna use Phantom Yubel. We're gonna do that, and if they have Called by the Grave, I mean, kudos to them. But yeah, Phantom Yubel does their thing. We will destroy the one in the deck. There we go. Then that happens. Then we summon OG Yubel. Put it here in the left, respecting infinite impermanence columns, and there we go. Opponent can, I don't know, they can still, yeah, there we go. Miracle Fusion. That's something you can do. But let's see what they go for here. I believe they still have, well, they still have 12 cards in the extra deck, so Sunriser is not a bad option. Yeah, if they're using Shining Wingman to oh my god, as material. Okay, cool. Sunriser, yep. What else are you gonna do, opponent? Yep, add another Miracle Fusion because this thing is not fucking once per turn. I think we just get rid of him because we can. There we go. And then there we go. Then they could Miracle Fusion something away again, thus depriving them of even more resources. So we're gonna see what my opponent fuses into, if any at all. There are still a couple of other elemental heroes that are in the extra deck at this point. They didn't exactly run through a whole gamut of them. They just ran through Shining Wingman, DPE, and now Sunriser. So Sunriser is going to be back, and we're going to use that to finish my opponent off. If my opponent even allows me, because they have a face down. So I'm not going to drag this out. We're just going to head straight into combat. And we're gonna give my opponent the respect that they deserve, because they toughed it out, and we both made punts along the way, so there's that. Ignoring, place it on the deck, and or banish cards. Okay, they're gonna use favorite contact. I can't believe they have 2 copies of this. Or was it shuffled back in? No, they do have 2 copies. So, they could summon out Shining Wingman again, question mark, if possible, I think. Plagues and materials. No, it doesn't summon from the banish pile. You can only use material from the banish pile. So, yeah, you're only fusion summoning out of the extra deck, opponent. You're just going to return stuff to the extra deck. So, who are you summoning out? Who else would potentially deal with my board? Oh, I forgot that Dystopia is also a thing. If it's different, target a card on the field. I don't think that's going to make a difference. In fact, you just give me a better target. Oh my god. If it's attack, yeah, target a card on the field, sure. I'm assuming Nightmare Pain because it's the one that's going to allow me to inflict damage onto you. Why that, opponent? That's not going to help. Oh no. You just Sudoku'd yourself, opponent. Come on. Oh my god, opponent. You should have gone for Nightmare Pain, you know. As Thanos said, you should have gone for the head. Oh my god. That is not gonna help at all. Oh my god. You're just going to summon out Terror Incarnate. Unless you have something to stop this. Question mark. Opponent. You're gonna... Oh my god. They didn't have anything to stop it. They just made me nervous for no goddamn reason. There we go. Swing into this. Do you have another thing? Question mark. Opponent. Okay. Let's move on to the end screen. Okay, we're here at the end screen and... it performed about as well as I thought it would. Then again, I have been practicing this deck for over a week, and I have gotten a feel for all of the combo lines that this deck has. There are lines that end with Unchained Soul of Rage, that go through Yama. There are also lines that use Muckracker, but I didn't get to showcase it off here, because that would make this video 2 hours long, and I don't exactly have that much time. But otherwise, you've seen the basically the average, what I would say, that this deck can do, or maybe even below average, because of all of the really amazing punts that I did in this video. But yeah, it's about what you would expect out of a Fiendsmith Yubel deck, and now that you've seen it, you know how to fight against it. Just shut down the graveyard. That is literally all you can do and will do, and there's a reason why Kashtira is simply not disappearing from the meta. Although, granted, I have been seeing less and less of it because a lot of the other decks above it are just far more explosive, and Kashtira it's just fascinating that Kashtira is the perfect answer for whatever it is the meta is doing, but everything else above it is just simply way too explosive and way too powerful. And it has slowly been knocked down the ranking ladders, and good god, I mean, granted, Arise Heart is a toxic as fuck card, so I guess it's deserved. I'll be rocking with this deck until something gets touched. Oh my god. I'll still be using Tenpai, by the way, in the background, simply because as long as Kaimen is not limited to 1, Tenpai will still be playable. Some people have actually already sworn off of it, and some people, especially in the paper game, are crazy enough to have a Tenpai Fiendsmith deck for some weird reason. Because none of the Fiendsmith cards lock you out of anything, and that's what makes it so good. There are no Fiend locks anywhere in any of these cards. Like, it's insane. And you can use them as Ash Blossom bait, because if the Fiendsmith combo line, quote-unquote, doesn't go off, then go into your main engine, the real thing that your deck is built to do. So, yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of Agnus Dei moving forward until something gets banned out of his deck, but I believe they'll just keep Engraver, you know, sorry, I prefer to call him Agnus, because it's just, again, it's appropriate. But having him at 2 feels appropriate. I feel like it has reined in the power that this deck has just by a smidge, but Lacrima is definitely going to be a problem somewhere down the line, because a lot of decks can use it, because it's just extremely easy to stuff stuff into the graveyard. I use stuff twice there, but you get what I mean. One is the adjective and the other is the noun. So English speakers, you know. But otherwise, yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this guy's smug face moving forward. So if you like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.